You won't believe this offer that this student of mine's got, right? Now, Cheer, guys. Your boy is back, and I done did it again. All right, guys. What's really good? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Today I have a topic of how low is too low, or how high is too high. Okay, we always come in here and we give you the high numbers, we give you the medium numbers, the even the low numbers, right? Everybody knows that when I first started as a developer, right, my first job, it was literally $13 an hour. Okay, $13 an hour. And I took that job because I wanted to get the opportunity to become a developer. And when I was a self-taught developer, nobody was really trusting me, right? You don't have a degree, okay? And even if you are a bootcamp graduate, even if you are a guy who's super smart and is learning at home, it doesn't matter what you do, right? If you don't have a degree, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, do we trust this guy, right? Do we want to be the first person to hire this person? Okay, do we want to be the first company to hire this developer? So that's what companies think, and I totally agree with them, right? It's difficult to say, hey man, we're gonna trust somebody with our code and let's just hire them, right? So I couldn't get a job at first, right? My first 2 job interviews, I failed them, right? They wasn't giving it to me, and I don't even think that I failed them. It's more like, hey, I don't have the experience, right? If you don't have the experience, when they ask you about certain things like things like as GitHub back in the days, GitHub, right? Pushing and pulling, collaborating with other developers, working as a team, let's say continuous integration, like those things that I've never heard of, right? At that time when I first started, because I was like so focused on learning to code that in reality I didn't know the whole process of working in a large company, right? So I had to go back home and realize, I'm like, you know what, maybe I'm not ready to go to these companies, right? There's big companies, because I just don't have the experience, right? If I don't have the experience, how do I get experience? And that's the question that every single one of you guys keep asking yourselves. Y'all keep saying, man, I keep seeing 2 to 3 years, 5 years, 7 years experience, and it's like, nobody's hiring me because I don't have no experience. How do I get experience? Okay, so sometimes you might get a company that might come in and say, you know what, I'll hire you, but I'll hire you at a very low price. Okay, so today that's what we're talking about. We have this email that somebody sent me. I'm not gonna say his name just to protect his privacy. Okay, so let's get to it. He says, hi, love your channel. I've been working in e-commerce for 2 years now in the warehouse and making listings, HTML and content writing. I just got offered a junior web developer position. I was crazy happy because it was a small startup agency in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Okay, for those of you guys that don't know Florida, okay, and once again, Florida done did it again. All right, Florida. Okay, let me also put up the chat right here for you guys to come in and join the conversation. So he says, I had a follow-up phone call and the owner to discuss my start date, and he gave me the bad news that the job pays $11 an hour. Right, boy, if you don't get up, you know what I mean? But if you don't get up. All right, so it's like, you gave me the bad news, $11 an hour. I'm making 18 now, kid. I'm at 18, kid. I ain't going to no $11 an hour, right? So he's like, I'm making 18 now. That's crazy less. And I don't think I can pay my bills or survive on that. I know you say we gonna get paid low as junior developers, but how low is too low? Do I take it and tough it out or look for more? What do I do? All right, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? The reason why I even had the opportunity to take, or the privilege to take a $13 an hour job when I first started was literally I had zero debt, right? Zero debt, zero bills. Okay. I had a cell phone bill which was $80, T-Mobile. That's it. I lived with my moms. You know what I mean? I had money to save. I had, small little businesses online, doing the eBay, doing the Amazon. I was grinding. I had a little flow, right? I already had my little money, a little freelance here and there. So I was able to say, you know what? I'm going to take this job for $13 an hour. But that's because I had income coming in, right? I had supplement income coming in, right? To say, hey, Joe, you're going to survive this, okay? And I was out of there in 2 months. I'll be honest. I said, scoop, right? Once I got that little stamp on my resume and say, okay, cool, you work here, I was out of there. I said, peace, all right? So for him, my advice is, first of all, you're getting 18, right? Now, what's the lowest that you can go to survive, right? Because also, too, you got to understand, he's in Florida. Florida, they trying to cheap ball everybody. You could be the best developer out there. They trying to throw you $50,000, $60,000. You could be a guy who's experienced. Companies is trying to hire you for $50,000. Right? When you could work in New York City for $100,000, $90,000, in Florida they're like, boy, we know it's cheap out here. Okay, you don't need that much bread out here in Florida. You don't need that much money in Florida. You could survive with 50, 60. So that's why we're trying to pay you. Right? Now, when you're a junior developer, they're gonna go even beyond the cheap lowballing. Now, also too, you got to take into account that this is not even a company. This is a small startup agency. This is like me right now. If I decide, you know what, I'm going to hire a couple of guys. I'm going to build an agency here in Prospect, Connecticut. Right? I got the office space. I got this, and that. It's a small business. I just started. I'm not trying to hire a guy for $50,000, $60,000 or more. Especially when I don't even know if this business is going to be good. Right? It's my first business, etc. Right? So I'm going to try to lowball it. I'm going to be like, yo, bro, I got 14 for you. I got, do the Birdman hand rub. I got 11 for you. Let me see what you do with that. That's how the owner is right now, because he's trying to make as much as possible for profits. It's probably his first company. It's a startup, right? Startup agency. So you will be like the first developer in there, one of the first, right? So technically they need the extra help, right? But now for you as the junior developer, what do? Do you take this job? Do you feel like it's going to be valuable for you? Because also too, I want to point this out. Experience is more valuable than actually getting paid a lot of money. Okay. And I'm talking about, like, let's say somebody who's earning $50,000, $60,000 as an accounting, let's say, right? And they want to switch up to become a developer. And they say, you know what? I can only find a job right now that the only job that I'm getting is at $40,000, $30,000. You know what? I will say take it, because you need that experience. That's not going to be the end of you, right? You working at the company is not the end and be like, oh, that's it. This is what I'm getting. No, all you need is a stamp. 6 months. Sometimes even like me, like 2 months. Get out of there, right? Companies want to see that you got hired by somebody else. They want to see that you have experience. Nobody wants to take a guy from zero, because even though you might be learning how to code, you might be good at HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but when you don't have experience working at a company, you don't know the flows, right? You don't know how it is to work in with the designers. You don't know how to work with different the time constraints. It's an agency. They try to sell people dreams. So somebody comes in and be like, hey man, we need a website in 4 days. The project manager, the owner, is gonna be like, we could do it, because they want the business, right? So they don't know if you could actually go in there and get the website done in 4 days, right? But all of that comes with experience. So for somebody who's like an accountant and is taking like a $20,000 drop just to get that experience, it's worth it, right? Now for you are 18 right now, okay? You just started. That's like that's the starter kit. That's what I call the starter kit. Anything below $20, you on the starter kit right now. You know what I mean? Like, you barely getting by. You know, so for you to go down to 11 is gonna be crazy. But at the same time, how valuable is it to you? Now you have to talk to them and be like, hey man, I can actually do all the work that you throw at me. I can actually get all those things done. I can prove it to you. Give me a test, send me a project that you want me to do, and I can do it for you and show you that I'm worth more than $11, right? I'm worth, give me 16. Look, $2 is not gonna kill you. I'm being honest. $2 is not gonna kill you. It's not gonna hurt your pocket. Maybe you can't go to McDonald's once a week, right? That's all it's really gonna do, right? It's not really gonna do anything on your pocket. But when you're losing $7, then that's a big jump, right? That's a big drop. So my advice is very simple. How much is experience worth to you, right? And how bad do you want it, right? When I left my job as an IT worker, I was doing like 45, and it was about to jump me to 55, right? Literally in a month. The world of an IT worker. Okay, so that's where I was at, right? So me dropping to $13 was bad, right? I was like, I don't even know. I was probably earning like $21, $22 an hour, and then dropped to 13. But I really wanted it bad. This is what I wanted to do. And I knew that if I didn't have a stamp, it doesn't matter from anywhere. It could be Little Johnny's agency or Bill and Bob's warehouse shipping or whatever it is. They needed to have that stamp that said developer or content creator or content editor using HTML and CSS, and having a whole bunch of pages that you can prove that you worked before, right? That to me was more valuable. And I knew that as soon as I started working there, I was continuing to apply in other places. Like, that's not the end. I went in there, I said, cool, I'm gonna work here for two months, use this place, because I knew the owners were being cheap. You know what I mean? Like, owners are making like $8 million. Because I was there, I was like looking at, the sales and everything. I understand how things work. Out of $8 million, they coming home with 3 or 4, right? And I'm like, how you trying to pay me $13 an hour, right? Like, I ain't loyal. You ain't loyal to me. I don't need to be loyal to you either. I'm out of here in 2 months, right? So soon as I got there, I already started applying. Got on my Googles, got on my Indeed, started sending emails. The same day I was working there, lunch break, I was sending out emails, right? Because all I needed was just the stamp. So then the next company that sees me be like, okay, this guy has the skills, he has the projects, he has the portfolio. Now let's give him the bag, right? Let's come in, let's give him that 60, 65, right? Because we know he has the experience, right? 6 months, 7 months later, now you're on another level. You learn a couple of frameworks. You learn a couple of things as far as working with a team. Apply somewhere else. Get that 80 grand. You know what I mean? A year later, after working on that 80 grand, apply somewhere else. Try to get that 100. Prepare yourself, right? So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So I want you guys to understand that not every single location is going to, or like let's say every single city is going to pay you as much as a major city, right? So you also have to take that into account and say, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? Like, let's be honest, that's the middle of nowhere, right? To be honest with you, in the tech world, right? So the things that you might find there might be like a couple of enterprise level companies, but then you probably don't have .NET experience, so you ain't getting those jobs, right? So then from there you have companies that want developers with JavaScript experience. When people want JavaScript developers, they don't want a junior developer. They want a guy who has been doing this for a while. So the thing that you got to see is, let me look around, see what's out here, okay? Tell this people and be like, hey, if you really want to work for that agency, because it could also be cool for you to get that experience and working in an agency and maybe being one of the first developers there, So it's like you're also building the company up. Tell them, hey man, listen, the lowest that I can go is 16. I can't go from 18 to $11 an hour. And that's if you want that job. If you don't want that job, hey, don't take it, right? Don't take it and just wait until the next one. Keep applying, keep applying. But at the same time, always keep this in mind. When you live in the middle of nowhere, there's only a few opportunities for you. Okay? There's only a few opportunities. And I say that, with a lot of respect to Fort Lauderdale, but it's in the middle of nowhere, kid. You know what I mean? It's like right now, if I was to be like, yo, I'm trying to get a job here in Prospect, Connecticut. This is the middle of nowhere, kid. There ain't no job. I might have to go to another city, right? You might have to go to Orlando. You might have to go to Miami. You might have to go to, Jacksonville. Try to see what's out there, okay? Same thing that's here. If I was to get a job, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not applying to anything here in Prospect. There ain't no jobs for me out here. I might have to go to New York City. Might have to go to Boston. Might have to go to Hartford, or I might have to go to New Haven, right? But it is what it is, So you just have to be, conscious of that, and definitely think about what's in your location, okay? And also too, just remember, man, it's limited opportunities. Places like in Florida is limited opportunities for junior developers, right? And getting that first stamp might be worth even more than the money. If you can't survive, if you're already struggling and you don't got no bread like that, bro, like you can't go and take a freaking low paying job, especially if you've been living by yourself and this and that. I was good. I was living with my moms. I was like 23, 24. I was good. I was still scheming it, right? But if you're a grown ass man, bro, like you can't go there. So you gotta talk to them and be like, hey man, listen, I can do the job. Throw me 16. And we can work from there. Okay? 1650, try to push and be like 1650, 17, man. You know what I mean? Stop playing. I can do the job. Send me a job right now. Send me a task. Let me do it for you. Let me show you what I can do out here. Talk to them just like that. Let me show you what I can do on this block. So let me show you what I can do on this code block, kid. Okay? So you got to do it like that, man. Because it sucks living in Florida. I'll tell you from experience, because I was out there and I was like, man, I like Florida, man. Florida, nice. You got the nice weather. There's the beach right there. Boy, for $1,200, you got a big ass crib with a pool in the back. That's living. You chilling, right? But at the same time, there ain't no job. So for me, I was like, okay, I work remotely, right? I got my own companies. I do what I do out here, right? I get that bread. I get that bag, that stash, that yash, right? So I do what I do. But my plan Z, right? You got to have plan B, plan A, plan B, C, D. My plan Z is literally, hey, man, if everything goes crazy, goes bad, I'm back at applying to jobs, kid. I'm back getting that 100,000. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to drop that much, right? It'll be like, okay, I could survive with 100,000, right? So I could just go back to work and apply a company, and I'll get it, right? So it wouldn't be bad for me. But it could be bad if I'm in a location where I'm not surrounded by opportunities. So if I move to Florida for myself, I'm like, there ain't no opportunities out here. I looked online at the jobs, and I'm like, bro, the most that you see is like 60, 70,000, and that's the majority of jobs. They want like a super senior where, masters in computer science for 80. I'm like, bro, that dude who's applying to that shit could be getting $180,000 in New York. But in Florida, he's struggling to get 80. You know what I mean? So I'm looking around, I'm like, I ain't moving out here. I ain't moving to no Florida being a developer. You know what I mean? Like, That's just how it is. Like, I'm not moving to no Florida with being a developer. If I was like a like a real estate guy, or I was like how you call this? I don't know, like what jobs are popping up in Florida? Real estate, tourism, or something. I don't know. How you call that thing? Hospitality or something. Work at a hotel or something. Great. Florida is amazing for you, right? There's a lot of opportunities for that. But and even for the regular people, right? For the regular people, like there's a lot of good jobs out there that are decent, right? Not like great jobs, but are decent. Like I have my boy who is he's like the super of like a private complex, like one of those little closed communities and stuff like that, right? And he makes like 50 grand or 40 grand or something like that. And he got a big ass crib. The dude has his, brand new Nissan. He got his kid. He got his wife. They living good, living that Florida life, right? For the regular folks, that's fine, right? I'm not a regular folk. To be honest with you, right? To maintain my house, I need way more money than that, right? I wouldn't be able to survive on that, I already got the overheads are too crazy. Can't you know what I mean? Like I pay what car payments. I pay what somebody pays for rent. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. That's the honest truth, right? So it's like, for me to move somewhere where I'm gonna be struggling as a developer for my career, right? Then I wouldn't move there at all, man.